Hi, my name is Sandra Conrad, and I'm speaking today regarding changing the welfare system one step at a time. Our deficit in America is a staggering $16.7 trillion. A funny fact that I read is that $5 billion equal 1 millimeter. That being the case, it takes approximately $2 trillion to reach the moon. So theoretically speaking, we can stack dollar bills to the moon there and back 4 times and still have some money left in our budget, which is scary. According to the National Debt Clock at www.nationaldebt.com, the estimated population of the United States is 316,307,901. So each citizen shares of this debt $52,924.88. The national debt has continued to increase an average of $2.28 billion a day since September 30th, 2012. Welfare is a controllable problem that is much overlooked. For example, the number of Americans on food stamps has grown from about 17 million in 2000 to 31.9 million when Barack Obama took office to 46.4 million today. The federal government spent a staggering $89 billion on the food stamp program. In 2012, according to the website www.governmentspending.com, what is our welfare system? Welfare reform is generally described as a government's attempt to change the welfare policy of a country. A main goal of these reforms is to reduce the number of individuals or families dependent on government assistance, the recipients of their efforts to become self-sufficient. The heart of social welfare in the United States is to help families who need assistance meeting financial obligations of obtaining health care and education. We all know that the welfare system is pretty much broken. Misuse runs rampant in the United States. For example, food stamps cover luxury items like lobster and filet mignon. An image circulated a few days ago for a recipient in which someone had spent $200 worth of lobster tail and Mountain Dew and paid for it with their food stamps card. And one in every 7 Americans are receiving some kind of assistance. That means every pew in every church is filled with someone who is living literally off the money of everyone else sitting on the pew. Not family members, not kids living off parents, but adults living off other adults. What can we do to fix the problem? Employment programs should not force their clients to choose between training and intensive job hunt. Once a person is on welfare, they have to choose the intensive job hunt. But if the main service is encouragement and the intensive search is going to take many months in a tough job market, then the client would probably benefit from training as well as a lengthy job search. Provide services to welfare in an order that makes sense of how a person without an income is to be required to go to another city to apply for a bus pass and pay for a fee for the bus pass before they can qualify to get transportation money to pay for the bus pass. The system must see that they are outing the cart in front of the horse and that this is just one case. Let Americans prosper by taking small steps. Roughly 100 million people, a third of the U.S. population, received aid from at least one means, tested welfare program each month as stated by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Take the small steps to ensure a child and their children's future. For me, it's difficult because, for instance, I have an uncle that has worked his entire life driving truck. I mean, he worked all of his life, and then he was then put on disability, had a lot of problems, and I think he gets really $17 a month in food stamps. And then you have somebody that has never worked a day in their life, and they're receiving hundreds of dollars a month in food stamps. So I really think, something needs to change. They need to give incentives for people. It's almost like if you don't have a job, you get all this money for food stamps, but then you go to work, then you lose your benefits. So it's like, there's no in between. It doesn't seem like not giving any incentives for these people to go to work. So the small steps, to try to get these people to to get out there and work, and still give them a little bit of help, but not too much help, and let them work and see how it is to work to to be able to get off the welfare systems. It would make things so much easier for many people if it was small steps that we took to get people off these food stamps or to help them reduce the amount of food stamps so they were able to go to work and not take them away from them completely. References were the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, U.S. Department of Commerce, and CATO Institute. Again, let's hope that changing the welfare system one step at a time will eventually happen and things can change. Thank you.